Hello everyone, my name is Ganiat Sarami. You are watching Multicultural channel. With a focus on providing guidance and resources in family-related legal matters, Healthy Muslim Families organized a family law clinic in Winnipeg to step towards supporting the community in navigating legal complexities and ensuring equitable access to justice and knowledge within the community. With me here today is Humaira Jalil, the Executive Director of Healthy Muslim Families. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for coming to our channel.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So I have a few questions for you today. My first question would be, what inspired the establishment of the Family Law Clinic in Winnipeg, and what are the primary objectives of the clinic?
Thank you so much for that question. So when Healthy Muslim Families started, we used to provide services to women who were coming to us because of the challenges they were facing in their marriages. Some of them were looking for advice and information on divorce process or custody challenges and those kind of things. And obviously, we did not have that knowledge, so we were able to provide them services up to one level. After that, anything to do with legal advice, anything to do with legal information, that was not our capacity. But the more, and when we saw the clients and we got more and more women, men calling about this information, we understood that this was a need in the community, especially because sometimes people were coming to us, couples, women, men were coming to us, and they wanted to know about, okay, if we do the divorce process here in Canada, how do we get the Islamic divorce? How do we get the Sharia compliant divorce? Again, those were not questions that we were able to answer. So then we established this family law clinic. And all praises to God the Almighty, who helped us to provide this service. And now family law clinics have started happening since February, and we do them every week. So Thursdays is the day when, in the evening, when we do the clinic, and people can get appointments, come and get free advice from the lawyer.
Oh, that's great to know. Thank you so much. My next question to you would be, how does the clinic cater to the diverse needs of the community regarding family law issues?
Exactly. So the first thing I want to say is the legal clinics are open to everyone. It's not just for Muslims, right? So when people come here, either they are just thinking about, okay, what are my options? And as immigrants, we know that anything that happens is tied to our immigration status. So sometimes people have just come here a couple of years ago. They were maybe sponsored by their spouse, and then they want to know, okay, if I divorce, does that mean my permanent residency will be cancelled, or will I have to go back? And obviously that's not true. But because people who are arriving to Canada, they are not familiar with the laws, there's a lot of misconceptions out there. So the first thing that we do, we are able to give correct information. Secondly, at least people who just need information can come and they don't have to pay for it. So it's free consultation. We are paying the lawyers and they get free advice. Other thing is that sometimes people are, it's a very overwhelming process. Accessing justice, accessing legal advice is a very overwhelming process, especially if you don't know the language, or you don't know if the information that you will get is going to be relevant to you. So what happens is, when they come to us, they know they are coming to a friendly environment. They know that we are here to help them, so they can have an initial conversation with us, like with me or one of our staff, and understand what would the process be. So it's reducing barriers for people, right? Then we do give them bus tickets if they want to come and access the legal clinic and get a bus ticket to come here and to go back. So we give them bus tickets. If they need interpretation services, meaning if they have a problem with understanding or communicating in English fluently, then we will provide them interpretation. And within the organization, we have multiple languages. So we have Urdu, we have Arabic, we have Bangla. So those are the languages that the staff already speaks. So the staff can provide in communication, like they'll provide the interpretation, so communication is not a barrier. We have a play area here for people, so if women have young kids and they want to bring their kids, and somebody can just watch them while they're inside with the lawyer to get the advice, then we provide that. So there are multiple ways we can help them and reduce that access to justice barrier and challenges, right? So those are the needs. Now, if the clients come and they have more than just an informational need, for example, we do mediation. So mediation is something I do personally. So if there is a separation, or if there is an issue in the marriage, and the woman or the husband, either of them can approach me and they say, I want you to mediate, I want you to be the third party, then I'll do that mediation according to the mediation rules and regulations, and so that they can agree on, if they are separating, then they will agree on things that they need to separate on, and the distribution of assets, the custody of children, and all of that. So it's an amicable process. It's a process that is not in the court. It's not a process where it's contentious litigation happening. So if they can agree on things amicably, then I will provide that support. Now, other than that, if after the mediation they want the separation agreement or the cohabitation agreement, meaning now we're going to still continue to live together, but these are the agreements, these are the terms we are going to live together on, then I'll draft all of that. I'll do the mediation. It takes a few sessions at least, separately if they want, or together if they want, and then I'll draft that mediation agreement, or the separation or the cohabitation agreement, and then I will send it to the lawyer. So the lawyer advises me, so that's how the lawyer is helping the client, by advising me, and I draft that agreement, I send it to the lawyer checks it out. The lawyer looks at all the legal jargon, like all the language that needs to be in there, make it proper, and then then I can support the clients that way. Other than that, if anybody wants to provide, if anybody wants to do a divorce petition on their own, like they want to be self-represented, right? They don't want a lawyer, they want to do it on their own. It's not a very easy process, but you can do it, right? So the lawyer can advise the client on, okay, these are the things that you need to, these are the documents that you need, this is how you need to fill it out and all of that, and the client can fill it out, and if they want to bring it back just for the lawyer to review, the lawyer can review it. Other than that, we have people who have, and this is a very common problem, we have parties who have separated, like couples who have separated or are separating, and they are issues with child custody, and one of them wants to go back to their country. Right? Now, what happens is, how does custody work in this sense? So then the client can advise them. Sometimes if there are already issues where the child has been abducted, we have had those cases where the child has been taken to a different country, and the mother, most of the times, the mother wants the child back here. So the lawyer can advise on what you need to do, how do you go about it, what are the processes. So there are multiple things that we can help you with. The thing is, the needs are so diverse depending on what's happening in their life. Yes. And having the legal clinic here and a lawyer who is specializes in family law and immigration law, then we can give them the right advice. And any of the cultural nuances, meaning cultural background that maybe the lawyer might not be aware of, I can provide it. Like, for example, women or men who are looking for the Islamic divorce, the lawyer probably cannot help them there, but I can, right? So they can go through the court proceedings in Canada through the lawyer, and then after that we can, as Healthy Muslim Families, can help connect them through to an imam or whoever here in Winnipeg in Canada, and they can get the Islamic divorce, which is also, you cannot get an Islamic divorce without getting a divorce in the court. So not a lot of people know that. So we can help facilitate that process.
Okay, so basically the lawyers are like professional lawyers,
Yes.
just to ensure that the community is getting quality advice and assistance.
Yes,
correct?
exactly. So the lawyers that we engage with are lawyers who are, who have been called by the Manitoba bar here. They are practicing professionals. They
Perfect.
have the license. We check their license
Yeah.
and everything. So they are already representing clients here. And one thing I forgot to mention is that if a client wants to retain a lawyer, not through us because we don't represent anybody, but if they want to retain a lawyer, then at the HMF legal clinics and even outside the legal clinics, we will do a legal aid referral. So we'll fill out the application for them and everything, so that if they are someone who cannot afford to retain a lawyer, at least they can get through legal aid. And through legal aid, they can retain the lawyer that they met here or someone else, whoever they want. So we will also provide them that service. But as HMF, we are not a legal firm, so we will not represent them. We are here only to give them information and advice through a lawyer. But if they want to retain someone, then they have to retain them separately, right?
Okay.
So that's something that we will do for them, just to refer them to different lawyers.
Oh, that's perfect. That's amazing. Thank you so much. My next question to you would be, are there like any specific success stories or cases that demonstrate the positive impact of the clinic to the society?
Yes. So one thing that we do with family law clinics is we give them all the different options.
Okay.
Like so we recently had a family law clinic with a practitioner, a lawyer who does collaborative approach. Like, she does not go to the court. She does not want to take the parties to the court and then litigate. She wants to resolve these separation or divorce amicably in a manner that both will mutually agree to. So she only practices collaborative approach to this family law, and so we have her clinics as well, and we have referred a few people who have gone to her. Then after we have referred people, we don't follow up with them. That's that's a matter that they take up with their own lawyer. But I can say that we have had a few people who have gone through our legal clinics who came to us a few times, and one of them was looking for mediation, and so we did the mediation. And it was a complex matter because it was not just the husband and wife. There were adult kids involved and all of that. So we were able to do that mediation through the family law clinic here. So initially they met the lawyer, then they met the lawyer again a few times. Then the other party came to us. We did the mediation, and Alhamdulillah, what's happening is, we don't want to push anybody towards divorce. We want to give them all the options. Perhaps that's what's missing. They didn't have a third party to actually do that mediation for them. So we are doing that mediation for them, and the lawyer is helping with drafting the agreement and everything. So that's, for me, a success story. There's one more success story where there was a woman whose children were taken from her, and they had and the father had taken the children away from Canada, and and the country was not a country who was a signee on the Hague Convention, where where another country could send the kids back. It was not one of those countries. Oh. So the children were away for about a year, and we helped the woman continuously for a few months, and she got a lot of advice from the lawyer on what to do, how to approach the embassy, what she could do, and all of that. And eventually she did get her children back. Oh. So that's one story that I'm really thankful that we were able to support her in that way.
Oh, that's amazing, because that must have been very complicated because of all the situations and yes. everything. Oh, that's amazing. Yes. Thank you so much. My next question to you would be, in what ways does the clinic collaborate with other community organizations or legal entities to enhance its services?
That's a very good question. So I have to say this: we cannot do what we do alone, right? No one can do that. No organization can do that. The legal clinics and the Access to Justice project, which runs the legal clinic here in Healthy Muslim Families, was only started because there were other organizations in the community who had approached us. So there is Seed Winnipeg, Aurora Family Therapy, we have Bilal Community and Family Center, Hood Fams, and a few other organizations who brought this idea to us. And they have been part of the project, and they're part of the steering committee. So we discuss together how it's going, what kind of help we need, and all of that. So this project is only possible with a collaboration of 8 different organizations here in Winnipeg.
Wow.
We run this project, we do the work, but it's with collaboration from these organizations. There's one more thing I want to say, that one of the clinics here, which is a French or Francophone serving clinic, who has collaborated with us, and they also provide services by giving us advice, training, so we do that. And and even interpretation. So for interpretation, we reach out to our own community. But if there's an interpretation need for a language that we don't have in the organization, then we will go to this organization, which is here in Immigrant Center, and they give us their language bank as well. So this is how this is working. This is only working with collaboration from so many different organizations.
Thank you so much. So my final question to you would be, what advice do you have for the general public and members of the community watching this?
Like I said before, just the process of accessing this information and getting advice and the whole process, legal process, is very overwhelming for a lot of people. Not everybody wants to go to a lawyer, right? And there's a lot of taboo, I think, in how we think about approaching a lawyer. Like even for information, people don't want to go to a lawyer because, we use terms like, oh, they've lawyered up, meaning now it's done. Yes. They have a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I would say to the public, when you are getting an appointment for our legal clinic here, you are not coming to a lawyer where that lawyer is going to be your lawyer and now they can do everything for you, right? It's just information, right? It's just legal information. So you can bring your particular case, your specific situation, and ask questions. That's all that's happening. And you're not walking into a lawyer's office, you're walking into a friendly, Healthy Muslim Families office where we are here to help you. Yeah. And it's very confidential, so no one will find out, right? If you are worried about confidentiality, we don't share information with anyone. Usually the legal clinic happens after hours, so there's no program going on here. There's not a lot of staff here. It's only the staff of the legal clinic. So I think that's mostly what people, are concerned about: confidentiality, privacy, and all those things. So it's just information session. It's just an information which is particular to you. You will sit in the office with the lawyer separately. If you want to have somebody support you and bring a support person, you can bring a support person with you, and just get your advice that you need.
Thank you so much for granting this interview on our channel. We hope to see you again on our channel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our channel. I have with me here Omar. He is the coordinator for the legal clinic and also the refugee claimants project here at Healthy Muslim Families. Thank you very much for coming to our channel,
my pleasure.
Brother Omar. So my first question to you would be, how accessible is the clinic's assistance to individuals who might face financial constraints and other barriers when seeking legal advice?
Well, yeah, it is a good question. It's accessible to everyone. Well, anyone can reach us by phone, by email. We speak multiple languages. If someone, for example, who doesn't speak, let's say Arabic, who speaks, Arabic, then yeah, I do speak Arabic, but we're gonna bring an interpreter. We're gonna bring someone to help in that matter. And again, we are literally, for example, I respond to emails at 12 a.m. So I'm always available. Anyone who really wants an urgent help, I can refer them to the lawyer.
Thank you very much, brother. So my next question to you would be, what steps does the clinic take to ensure confidentiality and privacy for, individuals who seek help with, legal advice?
Well, first of all, the client and the lawyer meet in a soundproof room, so nobody of the staff or anyone in the office can hear them. And another step we take here, that most of our legal clinics are after hours, where no staff are available except me, okay? And we use our database that only I can access it to have the client's questions, names, whatever information we have. So yeah, our lawyers are professional. We are professional here. So we take this matter in a serious way.
Thank you so much for answering that question. So my final question to you would be, could you highlight the most common issue that clients come with at the legal clinic?
Well, we see many issues, starting from family issues, immigration, criminal, but I would say divorce and separation is the most common one. Again, we work hard to get our clients the great consultation they need. We try our best. I hope that our clinics give them the advice they need.
Oh, so it's divorce. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much for granting this interview on our channel today, Brother Omar, and we hope to see you some other time.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. Welcome back. I have here Child Tran. She is the lawyer consulting for our legal clinic that we have here today at Healthy Muslim Families. Thank you very much for coming to our channel.
Yes, so thank you for having me.
Yes, I have a few questions for you. So my first question to you would be, could you please describe the range of legal advice and services offered at the clinic for individuals seeking assistance with family law matters?
Well, for myself, I do family law, so my area of practice is limited to questions related to family law. So that generally would involve any questions for separation, divorce. I also do some adoption work, and I also do fertility law work. So that would involve any contracts that relate to surrogacy or egg or sperm donor. And then I do a little bit of wills and estate as well, and then some real estate, but very limited. My primary practice area is family law.
Oh, thank you very much for answering that question. My next question to you would be, how impactful is this clinic to the society here in Winnipeg?
Well, I hope very impactful, especially for newcomers. I mean, that's why I do them. And I hope that it brings the legal community a little bit closer to the newcomers that have questions, because I know that it can be quite intimidating to have to go to a lawyer's office, or to even make that first call. So having it right at the community base makes it a little bit easier, hopefully less informal and more accessible, because hopefully it's a familiar space that you would have come for weekly gatherings or other workshops. And so just to have a little, connection with the legal representative just makes it that much familiar and less intimidating. So I'm actually very happy to be doing this, and that Healthy Muslim Families is offering it.
Oh, thank you very much. I understand how that can be, easy for new immigrants and newcomers. Everybody wants like a sense of belonging and a community that they are familiar with. So I understand your point. Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. My next question to you would be, Could you just describe like the most challenging, legal advice that, you receive from your clients? Like
the most challenging questions, perhaps, maybe. Well, in family law, there's generally, for the most part, three main areas that affect separating couples or families. And the first one being, of course, if there's children, right? Children are always quite challenging, yes. Making sure that they're taken care of first and foremost. And then the issue of support in terms of, okay, what are the needs of the children? What are the needs of the separating parents or spouses? And then the final, kind of category is property, which then requires making sure that we look at the global picture of what the family or the parties have, and then to kind of do an accounting on that. Mm-hmm. So any one of those areas in itself, depending on the family, could be quite challenging. Mm-hmm. Some families have no problem whatsoever with deciding on what's best for their children. Then we move on, to the support, and that could be a challenging area. Yes. And then if there's complicated property issues, whether it relates to house, business, or income, that can be quite challenging.
True.
So any one of those areas could in itself be challenging, or both of them, right? Any yes. two, any three, or all three could be, that in itself could be very challenging. I think the most overall, outside of these three issues, what is challenging, I think, for all matters that walk through the door as it relates to family, is that it's a not happy time, right, for these two adults, right, that built a life and thought they were going to be together, and now, of course, things didn't happen that way. So we, as professionals in the community working with these people, have to really remember that we're generally seeing people at their worst, yeah. right? Their heart's broken, their finances are uncertain. There's lots of uncertainty and what-ifs questions for them. So that, I think, is quite a common thread for everyone that walks through. And, we need to remember that and remember that we're, working with good people that just at the worst. And the challenge is seeing through that, yeah. right? Seeing through that and remembering that, and then reminding people too that yes, this is very difficult, emotionally, financially, but it too, can come through it, and working with the right professionals really makes a difference.
Yes. So my final question to you would be, what advice as a professional would you have for people that are, afraid to seek legal advice in the society, mm-hmm. or anybody that's just seeking any legal advice or guidance, mm-hmm. general advice that you have? Mm-hmm. Because I know, like most people, once they hear anything that has to do with legal, mm-hmm. they are usually scared, mm-hmm. and they just are afraid about maybe most likely financial implications, mm-hmm. and most people don't want to hear about the court or the mm-hmm. law. So, yeah. what advice do you have for them?
Yeah, it's very, very, I think, intimidating or scary, yes. as soon as you hear that you need to go see a lawyer, because first things people worry about is, that they're in trouble. Okay, that's why they need a lawyer. And then second, it's going to cost them
exactly
a lot
yeah.
of, yeah, so I can understand why the apprehension. I will say that the most important thing, especially for newcomers, is to really reach out, I think, to their community, resources, yeah. because they usually will have a connection of some sort, and if they don't, they certainly will know who to ask and help you along that journey. So you don't have to feel like you have to do it all by yourself. I think that's the most important thing, is that you're not alone. There are a lot of resources. Find your community resources, your community leaders, and just ask the question if you don't want to start with a lawyer, and then they will reach out and give you names or give you, ones that they worked with or that they know will also either be in the community or is open to be, assisting the community. So that's, I think, will help kind of bridge that connection or that disconnect. And then if resources are limited, there are law firms still offering free consults, right? So you can look around, ask around if they do that. So that might be a starting point. And centers like Healthy Muslims may offer outreach programs in a legal clinic. That's definitely. And I know I do specifically family law, but I understand Healthy Muslim also has legal clinics for other areas of law like immigration, whatever. So just find those. And also ask questions. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions and utilize resources. The nice thing about, I think, Canada is that we do have a lot of newcomer settlement resources, whether they be communities, organizations, but it does require that very first step to reach out, make that call, or even just make that visit, and you'll be pleasantly surprised in terms of how supportive the community is, and also the resources that are available to you. But that does require that first step to reach out.
Thank you very much for granting us this interview today.
Yeah, you're most welcome. It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. This clinic not only addresses legal needs, but also fosters a sense of empowerment and resilience within the community. The impact of this initiative contributes to a more informed, supported, and legally empowered community in Winnipeg. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.